Hello, hello, hello. What up?
Hi, Zachary. I'm on my phone, but I can do my best to watch for people coming in if I'm a important person.
An important person. Everyone here is important.
I meant like a VIP, like a what is it? The
Co-host.
oh yeah, that will do it.
All good. How you doing, Adam? Just living the beach life over there? You're muted, my man. Or you're muted, Adam, sorry.
Yeah, I know it's going to get snowy here eventually, so
It's
I
just
as
trying
well,
to
whatever I can get out of it. Yes.
Nice. Nice. Well, we can get started. If you guys want to, I would appreciate it if you post in the chat something positive over the last 7 days. Doesn't have to be trading related, but I always like to get the juices flowing with some positivity, especially since today I'm going to beat you all up. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be a good one. We're going to talk about integrity pretty heavily. In fact, it's a little disappointing that there's only six of you, but I'm glad that you guys are here. And for those watching the replay not attending, shame on you unless there's like a real reason like work or family emergencies, those kinds of things. Otherwise, shame on you. And we'll talk about that a little bit. So Janelle's positive is her Ukrainian neighbors brought her food last night. Nice. Ukrainian food. Interesting. I don't know if I've ever had that. I might have a new book client. Oh, sweet. That's exciting. I don't know how you could be a ghostwriter, Judy. That's so much writing. It's so much writing. My homemade ketchup is awesome. Oh, that is such a Canadian thing I think I've ever heard. I love it. I love it. Homemade ketchup, delicious.
Took 6 hours to make it. It was a long
Really?
process. Yeah, I didn't
Really?
do it right. So 6 hours.
Uh,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Amazing weather these past days in the AM, walking the dog. Nice. Nice, nice. Yeah, for me, I'm looking forward to I'm doing a weekend trip to Wisconsin coming up here. It's going to be my final like long bike ride on my motorcycle. Um, due to weather, it's borderline too cold actually this coming weekend, but I'm gonna tough it out and do it anyway. Um, cool. Well, welcome the others that hopped in here. If you could put in the chat something positive over the last 7 days and the last week. So that would be for Lance and Chris and Heath. I don't think I got one from Richard. I need one from you and Wayne. Put in some positives. What are some good things that have happened this week? I'll tell you what, for me over the weekend, I made some killer chili. It was really good chili it's a new recipe too, so and I was very happy with it. Got some really cool cans coming. Make the pew pew quieter. Ah, okay, cool. I like that. That's exciting. Collected some new hot rod parts. Sick. Oh my gosh, my phone somehow thought I was talking to it. Okay. Um, I am now a chicken farmer. Lance, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I had many chickens for a long time. They are really interesting. Sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're really weird. They'll kill each other and stuff. Like they're kind of messed up sometimes. But fresh eggs is amazing. Absolutely. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, well, let's get this party started. Here we go. Heath got one here. Got to see some family. Is under bad circumstances. That's too bad. Took the Bronco off-road for the first time. Not disappointed. Nice. Nice. Well, let's dive in. This week is a Think Like a Trader week. So make sure I'm sharing the right one here. There we go. Think like a trader. Today we're going to talk about integrity. Now I know we've talked about it quite a bit on the Get Funded challenge, but today is going to be a little bit more detailed in terms of like kind of like a deep dive scenario. So I hope this is enlightening. I don't know if it's going to take the whole hour. It might. I am open to conversation and discussion and feedback in the presentation. So if you have a comment, an example, a story, anything like that, feel free. This presentation's not super extravagantly long, so there would be time for that if we want to get clarity on anything. Okay. So let's get started. Today's agenda, we're going to talk about secret integrity. I don't know. I just keep coming up with new words to cover the same thing, but we're going to call it secret integrity today. How to identify the lack of integrity, plan and trading, and accountability options. And then we're going to commit. We're going to commit to it. So first off, I'm calling it secret integrity. Look, when we hear the word integrity, most of us think about honesty, and I would say the vast majority of people in our community are very honest people. We do our best to be good people, to help others. We have kind of a heart of service and helping folks. And I don't doubt that whatsoever. So in this entire presentation, if you feel attacked, just know I know you're a good person. Secret integrity is more of the deeper level of integrity that the vast majority of people in this life do not possess. Okay? It is something that people don't like to talk about because it brings up feelings of guilt. They don't like to talk about it because it brings up feelings of not being enough or insufficiency or anything like that. Look, we're gonna have to get over that, okay? Because in trading, you have to possess this secret integrity. And ultimately, what it is it's a form of integrity that is very um, what's the word? I guess it's kind of like demanding, um, challenging, all those kinds of things. Well, I'll get into it. We'll explain. Doing the right thing when no one is looking. Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's take that phrase, doing the right thing when no one is looking, and let's apply that to trading. Right? Let's say doing the right thing in trading is following your trading plan. So, if you've ever not followed your trading plan when no one is looking, that's what I'm talking about. That is a lack of secret integrity. Okay. And so let's keep going. It's kind of like a little kid honesty with yourself, right? So like if you, this happens to me, okay? If you didn't know, if you can't tell from Zoom, I'm a bit overweight, not like super more, morbidly obese or anything like that, but I do have a gut, and I've had kids come up to me on occasion and be like, lose some weight or like kids just being honest and just being like, you're bigger than my dad, or something like that, like the way that kids just are super honest. And you could take offense to it, but typically when they say something like that, there's usually a bit of truth, right? They're just making a blunt observation because they don't understand how to lay something on a little bit nicer yet, right? That's what secret integrity is kind of all about. Um, so, everything that you are doing ought to be externally verifiable when it comes to evaluating whether or not you are or possess this level of integrity or not. Um, the things you're looking at to evaluate that need to be externally verifiable. Okay. Not to ignore internal dialogue. Let me tell you the problem with internal dialogue when we're talking about integrity. What internal dialogue can do is it can rationalize behavior. It can rationalize, it can justify, and it can excuse behavioral patterns, okay? Because it's all internal. You come up with ways to protect yourself, right? So like it's like if the little kid came up to me and told me I had a big gut, right? My internal dialogue could be like, yeah, but like stress. Yeah, but I just don't have time to work out. Or yeah, but I don't have time to cook myself properly, so I keep getting fast food or whatever. Our internal dialogue is very good at protecting our feelings. Okay. which is why when you evaluate for whether or not or what level of integrity you're at currently, it's good to look at externally verifiable things because now your internal dialogue can't excuse it or justify it or rationalize it. Even on your thyroid. That's right. That's right. Well, I like food. Okay. Yes. Good. Good. Exactly. This is how internal, and same thing goes for trading, right? You have a plan, you don't follow the plan, your internal dialogue goes to protect you. Yeah, but I heard James do it. Or, yeah, but, everything else looked good. It was just one little part of my plan that it wasn't going with. Right. And it's very, very good and easy to just rationalize it away. Okay. We're going to keep going. Ultimately, secret integrity is doing what you say and, of course, what you write. Okay, doing what you say and what you write. When I first started in entrepreneurship, this is even before marketing, before I was an engineer. When I was 18 years old, I was a part of a network marketing company. That was my first entrepreneur journey, if you will. And I'll tell you what, when they asked me what was my goal, and I gave them numbers that I was looking to aim for, I was an animal at hitting those numbers, like just nonstop, like just getting after it like hard. Now, trading is very different. You can't do that. The market will give you what the market gives you. You can't just trade harder. You can't outwork the market, But the point here is when you are writing down your plan, including maybe a goal that's some kind of range, 10 to 30 pips a day or whatever it is, doing what you say and what you write, everything to a T. Okay. That's secret integrity. Everything, just anything you say. This doesn't have to just apply to trading. I think this is actually one of the characteristics of traders that I think really makes a massive impact on every area of your life. The best one that I can come up with in terms of examples for ways that it's helped me, because I'm not, and by the way, I'm far from perfect. Okay, this is something that you and we will forever be working on. Okay, but it's good to have awareness of it, right? So one of the best examples I can think of, just as a parent, I've got 6 kids, and so I can't tell you how many times over the years that I told them I was going to do a thing and then I didn't do the thing, right? Like, oh yeah, Saturday we'll go to this place, and then on Saturday I'm just tired and exhausted and we don't go to the place, right? That is lacking this secret integrity. This secret integrity is doing literally everything that you say you're going to do. Literally. I'm using that literally correctly as well. Okay. Literally everything that you say and everything that you write. Now, here's the where the evaluation comes into play. Okay, well what if you just physically can't do it? You cannot do the thing. It's not possible. Then you need to reevaluate 2 things. Reevaluate your commitment to doing the things that you say you're going to do, and you need to reevaluate your capability of doing the thing you say you're going to do. Because if you say you're going to do a bunch of stuff and you're saying yes to way too many things, you are no longer capable of doing those things. It's too many things on your plate. Okay. So evaluate that. Don't beat yourself up about it or anything. It's just an evaluation. We're just looking at, okay, what worked? What didn't work? What might I do differently now? Now that I know that was too much on my plate, I was not able to accomplish all those things, and I broke this secret integrity. Therefore, I need to take some stuff off my plate. Lesson learned, moving forward, right? Makes sense so far? We all understand what I'm talking about when I'm talking about secret integrity? It is not easy. It's not easy, but it is 100 million gazillion% worth it. Okay? That's a real number, by the way. Just kidding. All right. So, how do you identify the lack of this so called secret integrity? And that's where you have actually a secret best friend called guilt. Guilt is actually a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I know a lot of people think guilt is awful because no one likes to feel it. However, first off, what is guilt? So, guilt is a moral emotion and feeling of distress or anxiety that arises from the belief that one has violated their own personal standards or moral principles or caused harm to another person. And it doesn't have to be a physical harm. You could have hurt someone's feelings, right? Guilt is more or less conscience, conscienceness is that's not the right word. Whatever. It's having a conscience. Okay. That's what guilt is. And what's nice about secret integrity, if you commit to that level of integrity, guilt is actually going to be almost like your guiding compass. When you feel it, don't look at it as oh, I'm going to beat myself up because I failed. No, no, no. Look at it like, okay, obviously something is not aligning. What is it? And now you're evaluating. And then once you evaluate, you can make the pivots needed. Okay, it's actually a secret weapon. So is guilt a bad thing? I mean, it sucks to feel it, but it's not really a bad thing. Guilt can honestly turn from being a hindrance because it is a form of anxiety, right? And distress, which can create kind of this feeling of paralysis. Like whenever if you're overwhelmed, it can feel like, oh, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to push a button on trading. I don't want to even see a chart. If I see a chart, I'm going to throw up. Whatever it is, guilt can really become kind of a hindrance and kind of make us feel that paralysis nature. But it can ultimately be a help if you turn off the internal dialogue and turn on the external verifiable evaluation. It could be your best friend. Any questions up to this point? We got one more way of identifying where you're at on your integrity level. Overwhelm is my biggest roadblock. Oh, 100%. So just evaluate. That's the best thing. What worked, what didn't work, what might you do differently? Those are the 3 questions to evaluate anything and everything. Another way to identify a lack of this secret integrity is if you're stuck in the past. And it's really blatantly obvious too. And I'm thinking about conversations that I've had with members who have been in a kind of in a bit of a struggle bus. And typically what they do is they reach back into the past. They say things like, well, I've been trying to trade for a year, or I've been putting in so much effort for X amount of time. They're always talking about the past. The past is not a bad thing in terms of evaluating. It is a bad thing to get hung up on and stuck on. Okay. So if you're using the word why a lot, why did I take that trade? Why can't I get this? Why am I not further ahead than I thought I would be at this point? Those are all using that word why a lot is a big sign that you're stuck in the past, and it's a big sign that you're lacking in self-integrity because here's what that is. That's actually an internal dialogue justifying your lack of integrity. Okay, now don't think of that again. None of this is an attack. This is a pure evaluation. This is my attempt to help you guys become more and more aware and notice what you're doing, okay, as a trader. And this will be very helpful. If you find yourself asking these questions, that is your brain protecting you instead of taking ownership. Instead of saying, okay, instead of why am I not further ahead than I ought to be, why not ask something like, what needs to shift for me to get ahead of where I am now? See how that's very present tense? We're talking about right now. What needs to shift? Now we're evaluating. We're not going down this why loop, also known as a why hole. By the way, a lot of this training I get from my own mentor Blair. Whining is unattractive. Nice. Nice. I like that. Whining. That's great. I'm gonna steal that. Anyway, another way that you can find out you're stuck in the past is by pointing fingers. Pointing fingers is a big sign that you're stuck. Okay? We don't want to be stuck. It's time to get unstuck. So don't point fingers. Take ownership. Who's pushing the button? Who's pushing the buy button? Who's pushing the sell button? Who's moving the stop loss, the take profit? Who's closing the trade or not closing the trade when they should, right? These are all things you are in control. That is extremely empowering. Take ownership of that, and you'd be surprised at how powerful it can be. And I have a story to share with that. Actually, something I did this week. Actually, I can't remember. It was yesterday or Monday. I don't know. My days are blurring this week. But there was a day this week. What I did, it was like 10 a.m. my time ish. I was done trading for the day. I think this was Monday. I was done trading for the day and I pulled up my practice account. I had a little bit of time. It was like 10 a.m. And I'm like, you know what? I want to practice like exiting trades better, faster. I want to be more efficient with locking in my break even. I want to get better at that because I see James do it so freaking effectively. And so I hopped on, I went on my practice account or my demo account, and what I did is I took off all the indicators except for the super trend. And so that way I had no, not even a MACD, TSI, nothing, just the super trend because I didn't want context to know how high of a probability this trade was. I basically just wanted to drill it as if every trade had a low probability. So every entry was a bad entry. And so what I did is every super trend flip I entered and then I did my break even or close trade and I practiced that to keep my losses to under 2 pips per loss, or I got a couple wins from that too, obviously. Um, but it was a really good way for me to take ownership of the button pushing, right? And so I would highly recommend you guys do that if you have 30 minutes here or there. Just try it out. It's actually kind of fun. Okay. And a good way that you're stuck in the past, it's kind of the um the side effect of pointing fingers is that it means you don't have any ownership of the button pushing. You're constantly blaming the strategy, the person leading the call, the other people on the call, FOMO, emotions, whatever you want to blame. There's no ownership there. Ownership is so freeing, you guys. It's so freeing. Okay, cool. That's how you identify the lack of this secret integrity. So now we gotta good. Now we've identified it. We can become aware of it. We can notice when we're doing it. Now what? How do we turn that ship around? What do we do? So the first thing you got to do is you got to commit to it, right? You got to say, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm tired of being where I'm at. I want to move forward. I want to be in a different place. I'm going to make the necessary changes to do so. Even if it's kind of painful. It is kind of painful. It's like we use this analogy quite a bit. It's kind of gross, but you stick your dog's face in the poop when has an accident in the house. That's kind of what this is doing. You're gonna have to look at your accident on the trading chart. Okay, you're gonna have to look at it, especially those lost days that suck. Oh my gosh, it's not fun to watch that replay, but you have to. That's how you see it and get it done. Rub your own nose in it, exactly. So that's step one. Step two, forget everything in the past and decide what to do right now. A good way to do this is ask questions that begin with what or how. Get rid of the why questions and change them to what and how questions. It shifts your brain from thinking of the past into the present. So, who, what, how? This is actually a mind model. It's called the success formula. This is something from Blair Dunkley. This is a more advanced, I'm not going to give you the advanced version of it, but basically identify who you are as a person, which I think we would all agree. We want to be considered really good people, right? What are you going to do, or what are you doing now? What are you going to change? Those are the two whats. What are you doing now? What are you going to change? And how are you going to change it? Who, what, how? Okay. Those are just a really good way to get in the present and to have an action plan and to do it. Have a trading plan, obviously, but follow it like all the time, like no exceptions. Now, if you see a reason that, hey, you know what? I didn't take that trade today because I was following my plan and that trade ended up doing really, really well if I had taken it. Cool. Now you can change your trading plan. If you want to put exceptions in there, perfect. Put them in there. You got to write them down. Because if you're not writing it down, you're not following the plan. So you have to write it down in order to maintain that secret integrity. In order to maintain the secret integrity, write it down. That's it. And you missed out that day, who cares? Trade again tomorrow. That's how you shift. You make the shift. Now you're aware, you notice it. This is how you make the shift from past to present in a forward moving motion. And then finally, a big help in this entire process is accountability. Now we have options for this, and I kind of want to go through this. Actually, I just heard of a technique just last night. I heard of this thing for folks with ADD for productivity. It was meant for productivity, but I'm like, oh, geez, it's just accountability. It's called body doubling. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but it's basically if you're working, let's just say you work from home, you would basically have someone sitting next to you while you're working. Because then I can't just go on Facebook and doom scroll or play a quick game because I got a moment in between calls or anything like that because there's someone literally next to me to keep me on track, you know? It's called body doubling. You don't have to necessarily do that for trading, but you could. I think that's a pretty cool idea. Um, Janelle, I'm not even gonna read that one. I stood up Janelle today. We're accountability partners, and I fell asleep and I forgot to set an alarm, and I totally slept through our meeting. So it's the first time I think this ever happened. So sorry. Anyway, I cried. Yeah, okay. So we have a submission process. This is one way to be held accountable and to use accountability to your benefit. We have a submission process, and there's different ways you could do this. Obviously, you can send in screenshots, right? And part of that form, there's a spot where you can put in screenshots of your trades. That's one way. I would say that's the least valuable way of doing it. You could do a live loom of your session of like the actual full session. Let's say you traded for an hour, it's an hour long loom video. You could send us that too. No whining. Thank you, Adam. Yes. So I would say that's level two. I would say that's also effective. It's more effective than a screenshot, but less effective than option number three here, which is a self review loom. Send us your review of your session. That's powerful. I highly recommend it. When you finish a session, watch it and review yourself. Don't review, but the hardest part with that is don't judge yourself, evaluate it. Very simple. What worked, what didn't work, what might I do differently? That's it. Okay, so you don't have to be like, well, that was dumb. You're an idiot. Don't do that. Pure evaluation, no judgment. You'd be surprised at how effective that can really shift things in your head. It's all a brain game. That's what it is. Also, obviously, having an accountability partner is a very powerful thing. A very powerful thing to be able to send them your trading session. Let them know what was what worked and what was not good. I was thinking about the other day, I don't know how we're going to implement this, but it was just an idea. It'd be pretty cool to have like if you guys sent us like or you posted in the community your trade of the week, like with a screenshot or a video. Here, this was my trade of the week. This is what was awesome about it and what worked so well. And then you could also put in your lesson of the week. This is what I learned from this particular break even or this particular loss or whatever it is. And obviously keeping it positive. But I think that would be a pretty cool exercise. Trade of the week and lesson of the week would be pretty cool for everyone to be doing. I'm my own biggest critic. Yeah, 100%. We all are, 100%. And again, I'm not saying when I'm telling you guys this stuff, this is for me too. I'm definitely not perfect. I am, however, very aware of it. And so it's a good progress point. Eventually, yourself is all you need. I can't tell you how many times I've heard our traders say, okay, well, I'm going to stop doing this bad behavior. But then they don't really stop doing the bad behavior. They just keep repeating it over and over again. And then they say, no, I'm going to stop. That then self accountability is not enough. You don't have enough of that secret integrity in order to make those shifts without some help. That's where accountability partners are powerful. Lance, you got to start looming your sessions. Oh, 100%. Another one you could use if you're tech savvy, there's this thing called OBS Studio. It's free, but it doesn't go to a cloud. I would still have a loom. So I use OBS Studio just because it records two screens at once for me, which is helpful. But then I upload it to Loom for storage, so I'm not storing hours upon hours of videos on my computer. So that's a lot of space I don't want to use up. But yeah, Loom at the very least is a really Powerful, powerful tool. And then constantly educate and drill. I was going to have this part be a separate bonus slide, and I was going to show you some videos of my oldest son. My oldest son, um, he used to train people in gymnastics, but he himself is self-taught. So when he was like 14, he had this guy, we had this family over for dinner, and this guy showed him how to do a backflip, and within 30 minutes he could do a backflip. And then from there he was hooked. And for ever since then, he's been training extremely hard to do insane tricking things, feats, if you will. And then he became a gymnastics coach through a company, even though he's never had a day of classes in his life. And he just constantly falls. That's how he trains. He jumps, he flips, he falls. He jumps, he tries again, flips, falls. Jumps, flips, falls again. And finally, jumps, flips, lands it. Ah, okay. Now I know what I need to do. I need to push harder. I need to flip faster. I need to move my legs faster. Whatever it is, right? He learns that way. And so that's kind of what you have to do with trading. Now, don't do that with your live account. Do it with demo, but constantly, constantly figure out things. If you struggle with a thing, figure out a way to maybe practice that thing, right? I would even suggest, if you want to trade 3 days a week instead of five, and the other 2 days you use them purely for practice and drilling, I think that's great. Or if you trade 4 days and you save the fifth one purely for practice and drilling, I think that's great. Those are things that you have options. You can play around with that, or after your session, or before the session, whatever you want to do. Evenings. But it does take effort. This is a very, very high value skill set. And so anyway, but secret integrity is definitely the name of the game for all of that. Any questions or comments? All that makes sense. All right, type a one in the chat if all that makes sense. Uh, type a five in the chat if you feel severely attacked this evening. I hope you don't. Okay, you do a little bit. All right. Well, evaluate that because I'm not attacking you at all. Um, this is meant to be aware. This is probably, in terms of characteristics, I would say this is the number one characteristic for traders to have and to learn. And you can verify that because you know what most people say? Most people say it's discipline. What did we just got to get done talking about? It's discipline. It's a form of discipline. It's a different way of looking at it. You call us all fat and lacking integrity. Yes. Sorry. I'm sorry. So let's commit. My name is Heath. I came here for the beatdown. All right. So I want to know, I want to know how committed you are. So we're gonna do a scale commitment. Okay. For those of you that are here, obviously, if you're watching the replay, you can do your own level of commitment here. But on a scale of 1 to 10, one being I wish I wasn't even here tonight and I never knew anything about this, or 10 being I'm ready to make changes and shifts in order to see changes and shifts in the profits. Put between 1 and 10 in the chat, por favor. Where are you at? Judy's at a 10. Adam's at a 8. Janelle's at a 10. Okay, I get it. Janelle's at a 1, and then she changed her mind to a 0. It's 1-0. Got it. Got it. Lance is at a 9. Beautiful. Richard's at a 10. We're gonna stay here until all of you type something in that chat, so don't think I'm gonna forget. A 9 for Wayne. I like it. I like it a lot. Ten for Heath. Beautiful. You can, if you're more comfortable private messaging your thing to me, that's okay too. Where's my accountability partner? I don't know. Reach out reach out to some people. Let's see. Who do we Teba put 10. Judy's in there. So we're just missing Chris and Cameron and Lance. Wait, Lance did it. I'm sorry. Chris and Cameron. Where you guys at? Talk to me. You can unmute. We're here to help you win. Oh, okay. Chris, I'm not sure if you're able to type. Cameron, how you feeling?
Where is everybody?
There you go.
It's the smallest group I've ever seen.
I know. A little bit of a lack of integrity there. 7. I like it. I like it. I like it. If you said 7 to 10, it's beautiful. That's really good. And I think there's nothing wrong with any of those numbers. I mean, even if you said a 5, all I'm really looking for is honesty, which is integrity, right? So this is what it is. I think the hard part with something like this for many folks is it is scary. Um, it is. It's almost like I don't know. I don't know. It feels like you're exposed. It's like you're about to be naked in front of everybody or something like that. Like that's just kind of the feeling because most people, most scenarios, there's always kind of this level of privacy. But with trading, you can't do that with yourself. You can't just ignore certain parts of your trades. Like you can't take one bad trade and be like, okay, well that was dumb. I'm just going to ignore it. No, no, no. You can't do that. If you are truly looking to seek for this secret integrity, you have to look at it and you have to identify what triggered you to actually make that choice because it was a choice. And it's a little scary. It's a lot. I totally get it. Um, I've been so out of it lately with life events. This was 100% needed. Oh, good, 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 good. Yeah, own it, says Adam. Yeah, 100%. So I appreciate you guys and your commitment level. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. And of course, you can always just message me or Janelle or Matt with things that you might need help with in regards to this secret integrity and those kinds of things. Um, but any questions before we tie up? I told you it wasn't going to take the whole hour. No questions? No questions? Beautiful. Well, in that case, I guess I will see you guys on tomorrow's session. And I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday evening. And I'll talk to you guys later. Adios.